It's been 500 years since the Magellan Elcano expedition. Have you ever wondered what the intentions of the Spaniards are? Do you think it is because of colonization? Or maybe to start the Christianity in the country? In this episode of Historia, we will know more about the Magellan Elcano expedition and the coming of Christianity in the Philippines. Hey! What's up? I'm Mark Pangilinan, your kulit traveler from Limang Siglo, and welcome to Historia, Story Within History. In this series, we will hear the stories of every place we visit. Let's explore, enhance our knowledge, but more importantly, enjoy, while deepening our understanding of our history. Most people will say this is the Magellan expedition, him being the main proponent of this exploration, and as a tribute, for completeness, however, we attributed the final half part of the journey to Sebastian Elcano, as he was the one who headed the continuation of the journey from the Philippines back to Spain. Have you ever wondered about the objective, purpose, or even perhaps intentions of the Magellan Elcano expedition? Previously, we talked about the Rashomon effect. The Rashomon effect describes a situation in which an event is given contradictory interpretations or descriptions by the individuals involved. This presentation of events is often from the point of view that is favorable to the presenter. Here in Historia, we will try to provide as much side as possible and leave it to you to discern what is the truth and what is the history. Let's start first with Ferdinand Magellan. We will be having a discussion on this with Dr. Danilo Gerona, who has done extensive research about the topic. Dr. Gerona is the author of Ferdinand Magellan, The Armada de Maluco and the European Discovery of the Philippines. This book has been recognized internationally as a prime source of information about Ferdinand Magellan. As an acknowledgement of his expertise on Magellan, he has been invited and is a member of Iniciativa Ciudadana Sevilla 2019-2022. This initiative is leading and coordinating the global celebration of the 500-year anniversary of Ferdinand Magellan's circumnavigation of the world.
Actually, Mark, I started working on the book because I was working on my dissertation research sa Spain. So, ang area ko is more on parang masyadong philosophical na history, yung hermeneutics of power. Kaya lang, while in the course of my research, I've been there for about 12 times, balik-balik ko sa Spain, just to look at the documents because I thought unang punta ko lang doon, I can finish my work. Ayun pala, as I open more documents, maraming pintong nabubukas. So until I realized I've been working on my dissertation for almost 10 years. So I have to finish it or else I would be able to complete it. But then in the process ng research ko, I was going to Museo Naval. Museo Naval is the largest naval archives ng Spain sa Madrid. And may mga nakita ako mga dokumento doon that I never knew when I was teaching history about Magellan na nag-i-exist pala. We always thought di ba Picapeta lang ang source natin. Yung pala may mga primary documents, yung list ng crew niya, yung mga pagkain dinadala nila, yung salary is all there. So, but then I was not only working in hindi mo sa'yo nabal. And also, of course, I was not working for a Magellan book. I was working for my dissertation. So I have to go to our archives. I went to Archivo General de Indias in Seville. And when I was working on the Archivo General de Indias, ang Archivo General de Indias kasi, Mark, ito yung pinaka-largest na repository ng documents on the 16th century. When I was working there at that time, that was about I started working for my dissertation in 1995 and I finished it in 2005. So within 10 years span, I was also working there, as I said, by the time na hindi pa tulad ngayon na ang mga dokumento ay online na. Noon, it's very, very difficult to access the documents. So you cannot just get into the archives unless you have credentials from your ambassador that you're a legitimate scholar. So very, very difficult noon. And when you do research, limitado lang ang photocopy. And the photocopy goes to you after 5 months. So napadala sa iyo, you don't get the photocopy from your place. So pagpunta mo doon, hindi mo madala. Napadala yun sa iyo by ship 5 months after. So ganyan. So then I was working on the records in the archivo. I again saw a lot of documents, very, very rare, very strange, na mga about Magellan. So iba-ibang mga details sa expedition ng Magellan. Sabi ko noon, once I finish my dissertation, I'll work on the Magellan expedition. And that's how it began. So after my dissertation, I started coming back again to Spain. This time I give lectures. So I make use of the funding that I got from the payment that I get from the lectures I delivered, and to do research more and more on the Magellan expedition until almost 10 years, from about 2005 to about 2015. I was working on the documents and sobrang materials, and that's the reason why we come up with a book which is very, very comprehensive. I would say, modesty aside, it's the most comprehensive even in the world setting, yung aklat na yun, because I explained not only about Magellan, I explained the laws of the Indies, yung policy nila about war, rules of engagement. Actually, it's a very, very comprehensive discussion on the Magellan expedition.
According to Dr. Gerona, the Magellan-Elcano expedition intended to go to Moluccas to obtain spices from Spain. Magellan is not a colonizer. He was an explorer commissioned by Spain to search for a new route to the fabled Spice Island that will not trespass Portuguese territory. Let's know more about this.
But if you look at the archives in Seville, there was a document there, the so-called Memorial de Magallanes, Carlos V. It says there in the memorial, sort of a memorandum of Magellan, a week or a month before the expedition left, Magellan told the king where specifically was the expedition going to. He mentions of the islands in the Moluccas. Not the Philippines, but the Moluccas. So that's one thing. Therefore, it was not intended for the Philippines. So contrary to popular belief that Magellan came here to colonize the Philippines, that's not true. The intention is to go to the Moluccas. Was it intended to colonize the Moluccas? No. Intended first and foremost to exploit the resources of the Moluccas, specifically spices. If it is specifically intending to obtain spices, it means therefore that they will return. They're not going to stay there. Because if they're going to get spices, they would have to transport back the spices to Spain. So they would not remain in the Moluccas. That is to be clarified. Third, it should be understood that the Magellan expedition was not intending to circumnavigate the world. I don't think Magellan was conscious of that circumnavigation, of that the world is going to, that when you reach this particular place, you will arrive in the other place. Magellan was familiar, of course, with Spain, with the route from Spain to America. Magellan was familiar with the route from Malacca to Spain because he had been to Malacca, which is now Singapore, when he was stationed there as a soldier under Portugal. But between Malacca and South America, Magellan did not know about that. He was actually grappling with his geography because he does not know. After America, could there be a passage? Magellan was convinced that there would be a passage there. But then, how far? How long? what lies beyond the passage? Could it be an ocean? Could it be a land? We doesn't know that thing. So the point that is what I'm trying to say. That it means to say that Magellan was not aiming at the Philippines and accidentally stumbled on the Philippines. He probably knew of the Philippines because there were certain accounts that said that Magellan had learned of the Philippines. But he knew the Philippines from his route, from his travel from Malacca eastward. But he does not know of the Philippines as he traveled from the Philippines to Malacca. So it's probably a different setting, the different turn. So that's other thing. The target is actually the Moluccas to obtain spices. And it's clear actually, Mark, that the Magellan expedition was intending for 2 years. How do we know that it was designed for 2 years, that the expedition would last for 2 years? Because when Charles V, the king, assigned food, he measured the food according to the number of crew, which will last for 2 years. So we know already that the intention is to stay for 2 years. We don't know because if they are measuring the travel that it would last for 2 years, because you know that the travel takes 1.5 years from America, from Spain to the Philippines, and it takes another year to, of course, reach Spain. So I'm just trying to clarify a lot of misconceptions about the Magellan Elcano purpose of the expedition.
Ferdinand Magellan, or Fernando de Magallanes in Spanish, is a Portuguese explorer. His birth name is Fernão de Magalhães.
Implication, meaning to say, when you found a certain territory, when you discover a territory, the territory will eventually become part of Spain. So yan ang point of view ni Naloon. Although si Magellan did not come here to colonize the Philippines, it was eventually placed under the Spanish target, because kaya nga makita natin after the Magellan landing, 4 years after pumunta yung Loaiza expedition, 2 years after pumunta yung Saavedra expedition, and yung 1543 Villalobos expedition until the 1565. Ibig sabihin, merong isang special na kahulugan ang mga words noon na kung ita-translate mo sa modern meaning, medyo you will go off tangent, hindi mo yung maunawaan. For example, another word, yung requerimiento. Sa atin, ang meaning ng requerimiento is requirement. Pero noong panahon, ang requerimiento, sa panahon ni Magellan, is to declare the possession of a territory. So, for example, one form of requerimiento at the time is to throw a stone on a certain place. Kaya kung makikita mo, Mark, if you are reading primary documents on various expeditions, kuminsan, hindi mo unawaan bakit pinagdi-describe na yung mga conquistadores ay nagtatapo ng mga bato. Isang example yun ng requiremento. Ibig sabihin, we are now taking possession of the territory because we are changing the terrain of the territory, the arrangement even of the stone. When they cut branches of trees, ibig sabihin noon is another form of requiremento, including what we always thought as associated with Christianization. What is that? The putting of the cross on a hill. Maraming historians dito sa Pilipinas always interpreted that, lalo diyan sa Visayas, na yung paglagay daw ni Magellan ng cross sa mga hills din sa Visaya ay parang signaling the birth of Christianity. Hindi yun totoo. Ang paglagay ng cross is symbolic of their having occupied, having reached the place na parang marka na ito ng Spain. Ang Portugal kasi meron ding symbol, meron ding requirimiento. Yung tinatawag mark na padraw. Ang padraw is simply a pole, parang isang stone pole, nilalagay nila yon sa isang hill, parang ipakita kung may dumaan dyan, ibig sabihin, symbol yon na it's already under the control of the Portuguese. Pero sa Spain, cross. So yan ang mga implications ng requirimiento na hindi natin alam unless you are really an expert on the 16th century culture ng mga Spaniards.
The priests in the Magellan expedition are not an evangelization group. They are designated as Protector de los Indios.
Came to the Philippines. When Magellan came to the Philippines, he carried with him 3 priests. The 3 priests are seculars, which therefore means that they are not here to evangelize. They are not here as missionaries. They were there only as chaplains of the expedition.
Time flies so fast, but every minute is a story. Thank you for watching this episode. I'm your kulit traveler, Mark Pangilinan. Our national hero Jose Rizal once said, "He who does not know how to look back at where he came from will never get to his destination." See you again next week, and this is Historia, story within history. Here at Historia, we don't have a monopoly in knowledge, talent, and information. If you would like to be one of our Council of Consultants, we would be more than willing to discuss it with you. Just email us at mark@limangsiglo.org or message us on Limang Siglo Facebook page.